Benjamin Franklin is currently on the $100 bill, but a Texas congressman wants to change that. This is Wednesday, March 5th, 2025.
Texas Scorecard presents the day's first news for the Lone Star State. The Texas Minute, with your host, Michael Quinn Sullivan.
Well, we're halfway through the week. Thanks for spending part of your Wednesday with the Texas Minute. Catholic Charities of Fort Worth is suing the Trump administration because they want cash to help illegal aliens. More on that coming up. Texas A&M University at College Station is currently offering several different courses focused on gender ideology. These seem to be the kinds of courses that will need to be re-examined in light of a presidential order and recent actions by the university's own Board of Regents. Last week, the Texas A&M System Regents passed a resolution prohibiting drag shows on all 11 campuses. They also acknowledged President Donald Trump's recent ban on the use of taxpayer dollars to promote, quote, gender ideology extremism. A review of the spring 2025 course catalog finds numerous offerings that conflict with the presidential directive and the Regents' resolution. One course is called Human Sexuality. It focused during the month of February on gender identity and sexual orientation. Students in the class are encouraged to write a sexual self-analysis paper on aspects of their own sexuality. What could go wrong there? Another course, Introduction to Gender and Society, lists as its aim for students to understand that, quote, gender is a social construct. Members of the Texas Lottery Commission have decided to keep their embattled executive director, and they're moving forward with a ban on illicit ticket resellers. This ban comes just weeks after the commission told lawmakers they had no authority to address the issue. With investigations, though, ordered by both the governor and the attorney general into the lottery's practices and facing stern criticism from lawmakers, the commissioners nonetheless decided on Tuesday to keep Ryan Mendel on as the agency's executive director. Commissioners have also taken the first step in banning the illicit resellers known as Courier services. These businesses allow online customers to purchase lottery tickets from brick-and-mortar stores without being physically present at the store, despite state law requiring that ticket sales be done in person with cash. The practice only started in Texas around a decade ago. These couriers seem to be at the center of several controversial jackpot winnings. In one instance, a foreign gambling syndicate was able to work with the Lottery Commission to rig the winnings. In another, the lottery sent a check for $1 million to an anonymous winner in China. In a move to honor the incumbent president, Republican Brandon Gill of North Texas has introduced in Congress the Golden Age Act of 2025. His legislation would replace Benjamin Franklin on the $100 bill with a portrait of Donald Trump. Under his proposal, the Treasury Department would be required to release a preliminary design by December 31, 2026, and all newly issued $100 bills would feature Trump's image by December 31, 2028. The legislation has already been co-sponsored by Texas Republican Troy Nehls. Gill said that putting President Trump on the $100 bill is, quote, a small way to honor all he will accomplish these next 4 years. The Texas Minute will be right back.
The Luke Macias Show is your access to what happens behind closed doors in Texas politics. Listen weekly to me, your host, Luke Macias, as I break down what is actually happening in conservative politics in the Lone Star State, a state that we all love and cherish. Listen weekly wherever you listen to podcasts. This show is a product of Texas Scorecard.
Catholic Charities of Fort Worth has filed a lawsuit against the federal government following the Trump administration putting a pause on funding for organizations that provide services to illegal aliens. Let me back up. In order to get spending in alignment with national security goals and other priorities, the Trump administration ordered federal agencies in late January to temporarily pause all financial assistance programs. In response, Catholic Charities of Fort Worth has now filed a lawsuit against the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. The organization is upset because it hasn't had access to $36 million in refugee resettlement funds and has been forced to lay off staff members across Texas and cut various programs. CCFW has been accused of enabling the flow of illegal aliens throughout the state with millions of federal tax dollars funneled to it by the Biden administration. Tarrant County GOP Chairman Beau French has been an outspoken critic of the Catholic Charities for months. He said the lawsuit filed by Catholic Charities of Fort Worth will only serve to delay, quote, the reckoning that is coming. Look, maybe it's just me, but charities that rely on funding collected by compulsory taxation don't seem that charitable. You can find details of all the stories mentioned today and keep up with the latest news by visiting TexasScorecard.com. If you enjoy the Texas Minute, please give us a rating, and if you have time, leave a review. This edition was based on the original reporting of Valerie Munoz, Luca Cacciatore, Brandon Walton, and Will Biagini. It was produced by Nick Shepard. I look forward to seeing you out around the Lone Star State. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the first news of the day for the Lone Star State. This has been the Texas Minute with your host, Michael Quinn Sullivan.